in this chapter we are going to talk about data types. We have already talked about data types, but we only discussed two types, which is string and number. But here we are going to talk about all the data types in JavaScript. Note that we won't talk much about it. I'll just explain a little bit, and later in the course I'll pick them one by one and explain it deeply. So we have 8 data types in JavaScript, and the first one is string, second one is number, third one is Boolean, fourth one is BigInt, fifth one is Undefined, sixth one is Null, seventh is Symbol, and eighth is Object. So we have already talked about the number and string. Let's go on and talk about Boolean. So Boolean is true or false. Boolean is true or false. So let's say let x is equal to 2 and I come here and say console.log x is greater than 3. You know the answer already, because console.log x is greater than 3, but x here is 2, and you know that 3 is greater than x, so this is a false statement. Let's save it and check our browser. Yes, you see false. So that is Boolean. Boolean gives you true or false. So x is equal to 2. Yes. Let's delete this and go to the next one. Let's go to undefined. I'll come back to the BigInt. Okay, let me just explain the BigInt. So let me talk about the BigInt. So BigInt, you know, numbers are stored in a number variable, like we talked about it earlier. But when the values or the integer are too big to be represented by a number or by a number data type, we use BigInt. So let's say let num1 is equal to, let me type in any number. So you know this number is too big, you know, like it's a numeric letters with absolute values equal to 2 power 53 or greater than 2, like to be represented by accurately as integers. Yes, that's what we are talking about. It's too big to be represented by a number data type. So what we do is that we convert it into BigInt. BigInt. Then we put them in the parentheses with quotation mark. You see, it isn't showing any error. So that's it. We save big numbers in BigInt. Okay, sorry, here the I is capital. So let's check it. Console.log num1. Let's save and check. Yes, we got it here. That's it. Okay, actually, did you notice n here? This means this value is in BigInt. This value is in BigInt. So that's it for BigInt. Let's go to undefined. So undefined is any variable without a value. So let's say first name, then we have declared it, but we haven't given it any value. This means this is undefined. So let's check it out. First name, save it and check our browser. You see undefined. So this means there is no value in the first name variable. So that's why we got undefined. So that is another data type. Let's go on and talk about now. When you want to create, like let first name, when you want to create an empty variable, like let first name is equal to, then I want it to be empty, so that later I will assign it to a new value. Then you make it now. So now means empty. When you want to give your variable name an empty, you want to give it an empty name, so that later you will assign a new value to it, you give it a null. So that's what the null variable means, or does. And when you talk about a symbol, the symbol too is used to create object properties. For example, you want to assign a variable, you want to assign a unique identifier to an object. That's when you use symbol. Let me talk about the object. The object data type has three things. It has an array, the object itself, and date. But here we are going to talk about the array and the object. For example, let me say you are a teacher and you want to store the names of your students. We can use object to make it simple. So first of all, you will declare it, like you assign it to the variable name, maybe students is equal to, then you open curly braces. So the first student, let me say the first student is, so first student, then you bring, so first student, then you bring the name, maybe Samuel, then you go, you don't bring semicolon, you bring a comma, then you go to the second student, and give a name, maybe Mavis. You go to the third student, a comma. So that's it. That's how you create an object. So when you want to access first student or second student, you console.log. You want to get access to the first student, so you will call the students object, which is this one, students. That's the object. You will call it, then you will bring dots, then type in the student you want to get access to, the first name or the second name. Let me choose the first student. So let's save it and check our web browser. Yes, you've seen Samuel. That is the same way if you want to access the second student. Let's save and check our browser. Yes, we got Mavis here. That's it. let's delete it and go to the array. So array is when you want to save multiple values in the same variable. When you want to save multiple values in the same variable. So let's go on and create our first array. So let my array is equal to, then you bring square bracket. So all your values will be inside this bracket. So if you want to store numbers like 2, you bring comma, 7, you bring comma, 98. That's it. That's how you create an array. So let's check how to access an array. So you type the variable name, which is my array, then you bring square brackets and you type in the number, the index of the number you want to get access to. So in array, when you are counting, you count from 0. You don't count like normal people do, counted from 1, 2, 3, 4. You count from 0, 1, 2. That's how you do it in arrays. So the first number will be 0. When you are counting, this number 2 will have an index of 0. This number 1 will have an index of 1. 98 will have an index of 2. So when you want to get access to the number 2, you will type in 0. So when you type in my array, that's the variable name, then you put 0 in the square bracket to access the 2. Let's save it and check out a browser. You see you got 2. Let's change it to 1. See, you got 6. Let's change it to 2. Let's save it and yes, we got 98. So that's how we put or we create an array. And we don't only put numbers in an array. You can put string, let's say comma, let me put maybe banana. So let me access it. So this will be 0, 1, 2, and this will be 3. So 3, let's check. Yes, we got banana. So that's how you create an array.